As you keep engaging with this person, you're allowing them to be toxic, and eventually that toxicity is going to invade you, and you're going to feel like fight or flight, and most people might fight or say something that they don't look at.
Dedication, preservation, take a look inside, do your salvation, do every good work, it takes patience, like a butterfly, transformation.
What is up, guys? Sophie here, back with another video. If you are new to my channel, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to like this video, and don't forget to share. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can stay updated on all my videos. I know that's a lot of requests, but I'm just saying. So also don't forget to check the description box because I always put a lot of stuff in there. So what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about toxic people. This could be friends, this could be family, this could be co-workers, because honestly, I had probably dealt with toxic people in all realms of everything. And so we're going to talk about how to remove them, or at least deal with them so that they don't mess with your sanity. Okay, the first thing is that you need to know how to identify the toxic person. And so I can say with most people, co-workers, friends, whatever the case may be, I have been able to, there have always been red flags to determine that they are a toxic person. Oftentimes toxic people, they might not even know that they're toxic, and they might try to say that you're toxic. So it's important to realize, am I the toxic one, or are they the toxic one? So typically toxic people will always want to take. So typically when it comes to toxic friends, they have asked me for money a lot, even though they know that I'm a single mom, and then they always try to make you feel guilty if you don't want to give them money. They have always asking for favors, and even if you do it, it's never enough. Like one girl was like, oh, one of my toxic friends that I had, and this was just one thing. What she did was that she was like, oh, can you write a recommendation for me on LinkedIn? And I did it, and I felt it was a great recommendation. She was like, you write a lot, this is not enough, you could have did that, and just yelling at me instead of saying, wow, thank you, I really appreciate that. So toxic friends are normally not appreciative. Whatever you do is never enough, and they always want to take more. Toxic friends always feel like you owe them something. Toxic friends, and even in the same example with the same woman, we were working together and we had became friends, and whenever she was talking to my supervisor, she would always downplay me because I had been working there longer and she wanted the promotion over me. And so what she didn't know was another one of my friends who I had worked with was in the room with them. So she heard her talking about me to my supervisor, and she came back and told me. So notice the difference here. A non-toxic friend is always going to have your back. She's always going to be looking out for your best interest. And even in my thing, I told her, I was like, you know what, thank you for this information. I'm not even going to mention it because I don't want to put you in a bad spot, because I know that y'all were the only 3 people in the room, but I kept it in the back of my head. So notice, a productive friend, hey, you scratch my back, I'm also going to scratch yours because I don't want you to get in trouble for telling me this information, but thank you for telling me because you want to look out for me. The toxic friend is the backstabber. She's going to try to take promotions away from you. She's going to flirt with your man. If a man is interested in you, she's going to try to like talk to him or try to say funny or bad things about you. This has happened with another toxic friend that I let go, where a guy was trying to talk to me, and she was literally trying to tell embarrassing stories to me about me in front of the guy, because this is toxic, because really they might be jealous that you're getting the attention and they're not, or they really just might try to hurt you or want to hurt you just because they can. They also might give you backhanded compliments. If you are going out, they're like, oh, you look nice except for you look fat, or oh, I like your makeup, but I personally wouldn't wear it because I wouldn't be caught dead in that color, or something where where it's like, okay, you really weren't complimenting me, but really you were trying to take a backstab at me, and now you are putting it under the guise of trying to be my friend or my family member, or trying to show concern for me. And I will link down in the description box my blog on Frenemy. When it comes to family members also can be toxic. Don't ever think that they can't. Family members can be very argumentative. Family members can try to crap on your blessing. Like, for example, if you got a new job and you're making a lot of money, or if you bought a new house, then they might try to make you feel bad for it or belittle, or you could just tell that they're jealous, or the way that they're talking to you, oh, you're not all that, what you think that you're this, then you're that, and it's just very difficult to deal with them. Or no matter what you say to them, it's always something negative, or it is always an argument. family can even try to like hit you or fight you. Or I remember one friend that I have, literally her sister did not have a degree and she dropped out of college, and her sister was trying to tell her, oh, you need to give me a copy of your degree and let me put my name on it so I can get this job. That is very toxic, and that is not normal, because ultimately that can get her sister in trouble. And then if you don't do it for them, then they try to gaslight you and make you feel bad for not wanting, yo, you don't love me, you don't want to do this for me, when really what they're asking you to do can be very unrealistic. So never feel bad because you recognize toxicity in other people and you want to grow some distance from them. In co-workers, it has come in the form of people talking to me any type of way for no apparent reason, because they think I'm nice and I am nice, and they feel like, oh, let me, backstab you, or let me call you names, or let me undermine your work, or let me go to the boss and try to put things in their ear. Or if a coworker is very just difficult to deal with, I have had coworkers try to argue with me in public in front of the boss or something, and I'm sitting there looking at them. So don't necessarily feel like this can't come in all ways. And the way that you deal with toxic people really does depend on how much you have to deal with them. Obviously, if you're blood related, their family, you cannot excommunicate them out of your life altogether, or maybe you can, depending on how toxic they are. If they're coming in your home and they're like stealing stuff from you, then maybe, right? Friends, you can definitely excommunicate them. And coworkers, if you have to go to work every day, then of course, you have to find a way to deal with these people, because it's not like you cannot deal with them. And so let's get into the dangers before we get into how to deal with them. Let's get into the dangers, because for me, especially when it came to my friends, I really value loyalty and friendship. So even when I saw the red flags, I would oftentimes keep friends in my life, wanting to give them a different chance. Even the story that I told you before with the coworker, and she was yelling at me about not writing a LinkedIn recommendation, and then she went behind my back and I knew about it. I was still willing to give her a chance, because I do value friendship and I do value loyalty. But the dangers is that even in the workplace, she caused more harm than good, because of everything that she was telling, the surrounding workplace, and it caused more trauma for me when it came to the boss and when them dealing with me. Oh, I heard you did, and none of it was true, right? So really, it can cause you, especially in the workplace, it can cause you to miss out on a promotion. It can tarnish your reputation and paint you to be a bad employee when you're not. It can call you out of your character. I was not involved in this specific situation, but I remember one workplace that I was working at. These were two co-workers, and both of them were toxic. And literally, I don't even know what set this off, but in a meeting, they almost got into a physical altercation. So if somebody pulls you out of your character, and one person, and I can say this, another situation, one person was actually my friend, and she was very Christian and godly, but because she was tired of the picking, she literally got up and almost went across the table. So it's like, if you don't have boundaries with toxic people, they will push your buttons until the point that you feel like you can't take it anymore. And then before you know it, you're getting ready to put your hands on them in a workplace or a private environment or something. When it comes to friends can definitely, try to flirt with your man, try to take your husband. I have seen that. Don't ever make the mistake of doing that. They can do things in order to sabotage. Like, for example, especially when I started getting to the entrepreneur realm, and a lot of my friends, I don't know what it was, they would, oh, that's a stupid idea, I don't believe in you, or whatever the case may be. And had I listened to them, it definitely would have discouraged me from my purpose, right? So listening to toxic friends who just want to bring you down can definitely keep you from living up to your full potential, and it can actually have you blocking your blessings, because a lot of toxic friends, their issue is that, oh, they're low-key jealous of you, or you're doing something that they want to do, and because they're not doing it, or because you're excelling at something and they're not, then now they don't want you to excel, because they don't want you to get ahead of them. And the aspect of that is, if you listen to them, then that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to be held back listening to some nonsense that they Now we're going to talk about what to do about it. And here we're going to talk about people that you have to deal with and people that you don't have to deal with. So when it comes to friends, you do not have to deal with them. I'm going to leave my video in the description box about where I talk about fake friends and toxic friends, because in all actuality, you don't have to deal with them. I think a lot of the times, if we are friends with people for 10 years, for 7 years, for 6 years, or even since the second grade, and if they could have been toxic the whole time, or they could have became toxic, a lot of the times, and I was guilty of this, we tend to feel guilty by, oh, I don't want to let go of this person because I have known them for a long time. But at the end of the day, sometimes it comes to a point where you have to let some people go. You cannot take people forward with you you cannot take everybody with you into your blessing, because really it will be hindering your own blessing. Really, our friends, it should be mutually beneficial. We should not feel like I have to chase down my friend or make you be my friend or do things to appease you. And if I'm not doing things exactly how you want, how you like, then you're not going to be my friend anymore. So that's why, you know, if that person is truly toxic, especially if it's a friend and you don't have to deal with them, sometimes it really is best to cut them off. The second is family and coworkers, people that you have to deal with. And honestly, it's the same way. When I was having issues with like some toxic coworkers, I just cut off communication. It wasn't like I was rude. Like I would say hello if I was entering a room and I would see her. But as far as like engaging or going above and beyond, no, I didn't. And then it even got so bad that she was so toxic that I literally cut off communication. She would come by my desk. She would harass me at my desk. She would try to force her way on me. Why don't you want to be my friend? Why don't you want to be my friend? Why don't you want to talk to me? Why don't you want to do this? Just complete insanity, knowing daggone well that she was toxic. Because at this point, you can try to take the appropriate avenues depending on how toxic they are. You can try to talk to HR, you could try to talk to management, you could try to talk to supervisors. If they're not doing anything about it, then you do need to distance yourself from that person. Only deal with them in a professional avenue, as in, I have to work with you on this project. I'm going to deal with you mostly through email so I can back my tracks, because if they're toxic, they probably trying to get you in trouble. Or I'm going to deal with you in a way in which it doesn't cause me more frustration. If I have to have a conversation with you, here's my checklist of stuff that I want to cover. Bam, 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 bam. Let's go. If they want to argue with you, if they want to start something, here's what I think. You don't have to think that and then walk away. And then if it's an issue, hey, maybe we'll run this by the supervisor and they can make the ultimate determination. What you don't want to do is continue to get into this tug of war with a coworker or even a family member. Like I said, keep it very blunt. Hey, I'll text you, I'll call you. If calling you is too, detrimental to my livelihood, you don't have to call them. You could just text them, happy birthday or whatever the holidays are. You don't have to come to their house on holidays if you feel like it's just going to cause you more headache in order to deal with them. Because if you continuously engage in that, everybody has their limits, and once you reach your limits, you're going to be like the coworker like I had, and you're like getting ready to fight at the job because you keep engaging with this person. You're allowing them to be toxic, and eventually that toxicity is going to invade you, and you're going to feel like fight or flight, and most people might fight or say something that they may regret. But if you cut yourself off, and that could go with family, you don't want to get in a fight with your family, right? But if you decide to cut these people off or deal with them on a very minimal basis, I should say, like I deal with you when I have to, and when I have to, I'm very polite. And if I see this interaction turning south or argument, we can agree to disagree. I'm going to walk away. Here's what I think. Sorry you don't feel that way. Or I think we should disengage from this conversation, and you choose to constantly disengage and only engaging when necessary, then it decreases the likelihood that that person is just going to cause you more pain or drama, or that you're going to get sucked into their toxicity. Because never make the mistake about, like, if a person is toxic, that it's not going to spill off on you. It probably will spill off on you, especially if you're exposing yourself time and time again. So when we talk about guard your heart, which I have a video on and I'll link it down below, letting people into your bubble or your space or your personal atmosphere, your energy, can definitely cause you more pain, and their toxicity can start to leak out on you, which is why you want to cut this off and not feel guilty about it. It is not your obligation to have any and everybody into your space or into your life, especially when they're going to cause more harm than good, right? All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys another day, another time. Bye, y'all.
Not ready for the show to end? It doesn't have to. You can head over to my site where you can read hundreds of articles. And also you can feel free to shop my store where I have all of my products for sale. And last but not least, for even more video content, feel free to visit my YouTube channel where I talk about a wide array of content. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, stay blessed.